Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boardroom Beats. I am Amreen Mulla, the Associate Editor at CXO Experts, and today we are diving into a fascinating discussion about the transformative impact of artificial intelligence on decision making across industries. Joining us today is Dr. Sandiip Kothaari, the CTO at Specialty Restaurants, with over 33 years of experience in technology and a profound expertise in digital transformation. Dr. Sandeep, thank you for joining us today.
And thank you, Amreen, and thank you, CXO experts, in giving us an opportunity to speak our thought process, our learnings with all of you and the audience. I am really grateful for you all to invite me for this particular session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So let's get started with a broader perspective. Could you begin by sharing your insights on how AI is reshaping decision-making processes today across different industries?
Amreen, see, AI was present since last more than a decade. The only thing is that the awareness and the mainstream usage of this particular technology has just started. Like ignorantly, we were using AI for a longer time. I will say now more than a decade, while we were using our WhatsApp and there's stuff like that. So that is where any which ways at the engine your AI was working. Whenever we were searching on Google also, so same thing. So always AI was there at the background. So the only thing is now it has come to the mainstream business vertical, wherein it is becoming very predominant to use this particular technology, so that like we take faster decisions and like more precise, accurate decision based on our past learnings and our past experiences, whether it is for customers, whether it is for internal employees, or for with our external stakeholders like vendors and our suppliers. So the it is very very important now in the current context, and going forward also this is not going to fade away at all. In fact, it will keep on moving, it will keep on increasing. We will see better gen ais based on the current learnings.
Okay. Okay, that is quite an intriguing overview, sir. So, like moving into specifics, how do you think predictive analytics has transformed the strategic decision making within organizations, such as even day-to-day daily, tasks?
Yeah. So, I mean, then let me give you two examples wherein then it will correlate with the query what you have, and the larger audience also, will get the gist of it, that where AI is coming from and where we are coming from. So, while I was working with my other last manufacturing stint, that was in way back in 2019-20, year 2019-20, there itself, Amri, we had started working on predictive analysis. To give you an example, what happened, it was in B2B business. I was working with a manufacturing firm, again, a public listed company. So in that B2B business, what happens, the margins are very thin. And in that, if at all the dealers and distributors, if they don't do payment in time, then that margin erodes and then company goes into red. So that was the problem statement of our organization, that how do we overcome this situation? Because what was happening at that point of time, the problem was that it was all reactive. Nothing was proactively we were able to do it. So only thing is that जब भी वो पैसा नहीं देगा or his outstanding is going beyond 30 days, see, everybody has their own credit period, 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, based upon their creditability and market standing. So any which ways, whenever सुबह होता था एक लिस्ट आती थी बाहर, चलो ये 10 वेंडर्स का पेमेंट नहीं आया. So then again, there is a stress on sales guys, stress on the field guys. So what we wanted to do is that, based on our past historical data, as soon as if I'm printing a bill for invoice, let me talk invoice. Bill is a not the right terminology. Whenever we print an invoice for B2B for our customer, immediately what happens, the what our AI was doing, through machine learning. Say organization name is ABC Enterprise. Now that ABC Enterprise, based on its past purchase pattern, based on its past payment pattern, what happens? It used to give us three parameters: whether green, yellow, and your red, like how we have a traffic signal, green, yellow light. So वो हम लोग को बता देता था कि यार this is a guy who has a green red mark. It is good to go. Let us give them the desired material. The yellow one was that yeah, he may or he may not give, and red one was oh, he's not going to pay in time. Everybody is going to pay. The reason, the problem statement was not that okay, they are not paying, but they are not paying in time. So what was happening? Say if that customer or our B2B dealer or distributor falls into red category, then the moment goods are dispatched, from that day itself, follow-up is started. Because we know that yeah, he is not going to payment after as per his payment terms. Say example, his payment terms were 30 days. So we knew based on his past historical data, the machine used to do it precisely. The algorithms were keep on running, and it used to we were keeping them trained with our current transactional data also. So the moment ABC Enterprise invoice is generated, immediately that red flag is there, and then the sales guys, when the after the goods are dispatched, they keep start following up that was your payment is after 30 days, give us after 30 days. So that the payment cycle which was going for 60 days, 90 days, that got reduced to 45 days. The target was, of course, to get it in time, but it's a journey. See, AI is nothing that we can write a programming code and Amreen, it is done. It's not in magical yet. It takes time for the bot to understand. It takes time for the algorithm to get it trained. So there is a lot of supervised, unsupervised training is happening, but that's not got into the technicals. But we achieved for 45 days. So this is one use case which I would like to highlight here. So that is where, as you asked that about decision making, it gave us power of decision making from day one instead of after day 30 or day 60.
Of course, that's a very pragmatic example, given that it is something that every industry, I believe, must be facing as an issue. So, sir, like considering your extensive experience in ERP operations, how do you see AI integrating with different systems? Like, for example, Microsoft 365. How would it enhance data analytics and business intelligence?
I mean, say now when we are talking of mainstream ERP, whether it is Microsoft Dynamics, whether it is SAP, or whether it is Oracle. Now, all these ERP giants who are the global organizations, they don't have choice, but they have to embed AI into that ERP. That is first part as far as their ERP is concerned. Microsoft has already started its co-pilot and it has gone into the mainstream of their ERP. Similarly, 2 weeks back, I was attending an SAP conference. That is where they are also aggressively going for AI. And I'm sure I'm not aware of Oracle, but I'm sure Oracle also will follow the suit and they must be doing it. So that is my ignorance. So as far as ERP is concerned, Amrin, they are well in place. That's not the challenge as of now. The challenge comes when third-party applications which needs to be integrated with our ERP, and that data which flows from other party. That I'll give it. Okay, let's take one example. The application is my e-commerce application. Now, in my current role, we have an e-commerce application. E-commerce, whichever platform you have, that should have the capability of integrating. Integrating to ho jata hai. So that's through APIs, and there are different API models, also secured API. All those things, Ambreen, are possible, and they are being done in a better way. The only thing is how is the sanctity of data, how is the flow of data through that API is residing in ERP. That is what is the very dynamic thing which we have to do, and that's a challenging job. So that is where both the partners, the ERP partner and the third party application partner, they have to work hand in hand, and the third party partner should have that capability of handling that AI which the ERP has. Now, needless to say, the third party operators, also third party vendors, have also started working on AI because they also know that we can't survive without that. So yes, it is challenging. So to address that challenges, you should have right set of partners. You have to identify right set of partners. When we say partners, then what type of resources they have, whether they have that desired knowledge. The other important part is that do they know our business? I'm not talking of technical business, but mota moti as in customer, what we are doing. They should know whether I'm into manufacturing. तो customer का उसको पता है what is into manufacturing. We are not expecting them to learn our business, but they should know what is manufacturing. They should know what is retail trade,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is B2C, whether it is D2C, or whether it is B2B. So that partner capability, it plays a very, very important role when we are talking of integration with ERP. And I mean, it is, we have to be mindful that this is a long-term journey. So we have to select partners also who are capable enough and they will be sustainable in the market. So this is how we will have to mitigate the risk.
Mm. So, sir, like you mentioned, even customers need to understand. And again, customer relationships and customer needs are also very important. So, how is AI utilized in CRM systems to prioritize such, customer needs and to enhance the relationships?
So we will take another example of our hospitality business. So what happens here if, let's take example of your say Amreen is visiting our one of our restaurants. Now specialty restaurants we have 14 brands. Now
Mm-hmm.
similarly other organizations will also have different brands. But say like for example McDonald's. McDonald's is a brand, but the
Mm-hmm.
Indian partners are Hardcastle.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Hardcastle, but everybody knows what is McDonald's. But
Mm-hmm. Of
maybe
course.
Hardcastle must be having another brands also. So as a customer, you will not know. Now, when a customer comes, so how do we build that engine? It is based on the customer data.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we collect data? There are currently there were two form of data. Currently, I will say again a decade back, 1 decade back, there were two forms of data collection. That is one is the feedback form when we come on when our customer comes in on the registration desk, he gives his credentials. Now definitely social media platforms have come. There are other touch points also through which you can collect the data. So once we get to know the actually the right type of questions when we ask, which we can build our CRM based on those questions, because that data which is what we are going to use it for our CRM, and that data which will be used for our artificial intelligence, wherein it will give the customer awareness of the brands, number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
we will come to know as a restaurant operator, the preference of the customer. Say Amreen has come, she has ordered say 5 particular dishes. So then what we can do is that once we know that this is our loyal customer entering into our restaurant, we can give reference. Okay, well, look, you had gone to our that brand, say example, O Calcutta. Today you have come to mainland China. There, this preference was there. Something similar to this response in mainland China. This is what we are trying to offer you, so that
Mm-hmm.
you don't experiment.
Of
and
course.
and then what happens, then you when you come for a certain purpose, you might have come for your birthday, your anniversaries, your parents birthdays, anniversary, your grandparents, and number of occasions are there where you come in for a dine-in restaurant. Then we don't want to spoil that experience by giving or you ordering something else. So
Mm-hmm.
that artificial agent that gives us the visibility as soon as you enter the restaurant, you give your mobile number, we get to know what food you had ordered, what are your food preference, whether you are vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Because a lot of time, people keep on asking veg, non-veg. The captain comes and asks, and that
Mm-hmm.
is inevitable. If you are a new customer, you have to ask also, because
Yes.
maybe you are a vegetarian, your parents may be non-vegetarian, or vice versa, whomever group of people you had come. So now to
Mm-hmm.
address Amrin's requirement, this backend data what we collect is very important. Then your preferences, like like whether you want spicy food, non-spicy, medium spicy. So all
Mm-hmm.
those preference comes into the picture. The another aspect what we can gather is the when you come with childrens. So that is very important factor. Now see, again you will come with your parents, and then you are say you are coming with your elder brother, sister, or your own kids. Just giving hypothetical example. Then that preference, what is the kids preference? Can we get that data, then create a menu for kids menu specifically?
Makes
Maybe
sense.
we can customize for that particular customer, or we can keep kids menu. Now in a lot of restaurants we are seeing that kids menu. Now, how they have generated that kids menu, we don't know. Definitely, there are experts in every organization. They must have curated that menu accordingly. But if you want to be very specific and precise, then this data, what you collect, is going to help you curate that menu.
Got it. So, of course, AI can be used specifically for, different processes that, have to go across an industry. So, for example, like you stated, in a restaurant business, this would be some specific use cases for AI to
Yeah.
kind of support customer needs. So that is, quite an enlightening factor because usually people don't look from a technology point of view when it comes to restaurant businesses in particular. So, sir, from a cybersecurity standpoint, how is AI contributing to more robust decision-making frameworks, like particularly in identifying and responding to threats?
So see, there is a lot of work to be done in cybersecurity space. Of course, industry is working towards it. The government is working towards it. We all know that there is an DPDP Act which was formed and passed in Parliament in 2023. Now, since
Mhm.
now new government has formed, now they will enforce. See, it is already law is already come into the picture. Now, only thing is once you enforce, then only people will start taking that law seriously, the act seriously, I would say. I
Mhm.
mean, the fine, if you as a customer goes and complains to the respective authority of DPDP Act that your data has been compromised, the fine is the tune of 250 crores.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't have
It's
that turnover also.
very huge. Yes, of course.
So everybody is working at the front end towards it, that how do we safeguard the digital data of the customer
Mhm.
and digital personal data when we say.
Mhm.
Now that is at the front end. At the back end, yes, there are challenges. That is where the organizations, I'll just take an example. We are not propagating, it's a disclaimer, no propagation about any of the vendors
Mhm.
or the product. It is just giving an example like Microsoft, SAP, and there are other Salesforce for like CRM Salesforce is there. Those all
Mhm.
those guys are very seriously working at the back end that how can we safeguard the cyber security threats which are penetrating within the organizations. Come
Mhm.
whatsoever, whatever security barriers we keep, how much ever we try to do to safeguard our data, the risk is always there. The only thing is that the necessary, if you take necessary step, mitigation can be done. There is some proactiveness can be done. At least that we can share with our customers that look, this is how your data is being stored in today's
Mhm.
world. As of today also, if even if we have to take your data or any customer's data, we have to take your consent in writing. It is by default. If I don't do that, that means you have not given the consent, whether it is ignorantly or it is intentionally, whatever it is, come whatsoever. So yes, cyber security is a worry for all of us, and I'm sure industry is working towards it. Organizations have taken it seriously because see, solutions providers are there, partners are there, OEMs are there to support us. But that seriousness has to come within the organizations. Like you said, that now in restaurant business, forget about the cyber security. If you don't take technology into the picture, I don't think, as per this is my sole opinion, difficult to survive. How will you identify your customers?
Mhm.
And to identify the customer, the data has to be secure. So it goes very much in hand along with the other technological aspects. Cybersecurity is equally important.
Mhm. That was quite insightful, sir. So, like, what are the biggest challenges an organization would face when integrating AI into their decision-making processes? So, this doesn't really only apply to large enterprises because I believe they already do have AI integrated, but even smaller businesses. So, what are some challenges you think they would face?
So the biggest challenge is the change management. Now, when we are talking of change management, first of all, we will have to make them sit with them. The technology and the management has to sit with them, whether it is on a shop floor, whether into restaurant captains are there, or back office is there, and make them understand that this is not a threat to your job in this organization or outside. This is a tool which is going to help you into decision making in a more precise manner. Organizations are growing, we can't keep on growing people. But by the use of this technology, currently, if you are handling 1,000 customers, if you have artificial intelligence for your certain use cases within the organization, you can handle 10,000 customers.
Mhm.
So that's why it is very important, Amrin, that first we'll have to take all the stakeholders into confidence, whether they may be directly involved or not. This will, we have to embed it, inculcate in their mind that this is for the betterment of the organization, and this is not the replacement of human being. Humans will always be there. You will
Mhm.
always need somebody to sign. You will always need, now currently we are talking on Zoom, currently we will need someone to patch in both of us, no?
Of
How can
course.
we cannot eliminate human beings? That is what confidence we have to give. If that trust is built up, no, so it's a, like a trust partnership within the organization. If you build that, your 50% of your task is done. That is number one. The another biggest challenge is we spoke about the selection of a partner. When we get a partner on board, we'll have to be very conscious about that partner. How he as is he able to handle such change management? Do we have that type of, again we spoke about the resources if he's not there, what is his
Mhm.
plan B? How is he going to help in such scenarios where his resources are not available for certain XYZ? We are into technology. We know how dynamic this industry is as far as human resources concerned. So that is where these are the two aspects, I think, Amrin, is that it is very critical for an organization to understand for overcoming the challenges.
Mhm. I understand. So, like you mentioned, supply chain management as well. So, could you discuss how AI impacts the decision making that is involved in SCM, especially when it comes to enhancing the, efficiency and accuracy?
So again, here also we will give you one more example. While I was working with uh, jewelry industry, diamond jewelry, we were the retailer.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest challenge was that, see, it was a diamond, and the our one billing cycle, one bill was close to around 1 lakh rupees. So you can't oversupply and you can't undersupply also. It has to be completely adequate, because once the customer see, first of all, that is difficult for customer to enter a jewelry store unless and until you have some occasion, nobody goes. It's not like a restaurant or any other apparel retailer that you have gone, or it's not in fashion industry. It's a
Mm-hmm.
need based.
Yeah.
So that is where we have to see that how adequately, how adequate new designs are introduced into the store. Now, how will you do that? Again, same. Coming back to his customer is king. So whenever customer does his purchases, at the back end, that same data goes to supply chain also. Now, supply chain is even connected to our merchandise department. So that data goes to merchandise department. Say, hey, look, see, this is the designs which are working, not working. There is
Mm-hmm.
enough stock available for non-moving items. The stock for fast-moving items or fast-moving jewelry, it is not available. So that AI has helped us a lot. The other use cases in that same industry was that our industry works, a lot of things are working on a seasonal demand, whether it is Akshay Tithya, whether it is your Dasera, or whether it is Diwali. Those are some 6 to 8 days in a year which contributes to a 60% of our revenue. In that, what happens, this supply chain AI plays very, very important role. It's that they will exactly predict that how and when this goods needs to be arrived at which particular store based on their last selling pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps us whether your showroom is on ground floor, what should be the your supply chain should go, like how your material and how fast it should go, whether it is on first floor and whether second floor. So that precisely we had built the algorithms. We took help of our jewelry industry our guys are there who helped us getting it. Our association is there. They helped us to tie up with IIT Bombay. That is where that project was done successfully. So supply chain definitely plays, because it helps us two things. One is, so we are not over invested, and
Mhm.
we can serve the customer what he wants, not giving what it is not selling in the market.
Of course, yeah. That was quite insightful to be able to see what happens behind the counter in this case scenario.
Yeah.
So as we deploy AI, ethical considerations have become very, very paramount. So what should companies keep in mind when ethically, like in the sense ethically while using AI for decision making? Especially if we look into industries such as BFSI, where cybersecurity and data privacy in particular is a very huge issue.
See, one thing in our country, no, BFSI sector is very highly governed, and we should be proud to say that we are so nicely governed, like it's more than a developed country. So that's not a major stress. The major stress is coming from the retail perspective, from the retailers, where there is a problem of this ethical data. There are two aspects into it. One is your internal organization, your internal employees, and other is your partners. Now, when we are talking of these two ethical things, first of all, the tight agreements will be there into place. From employee perspective, there is a proper, our human resource will have a proper agreement contract in via onboarding. Similarly, when you onboard and vendor or a partner, your proper precise agreement, proper NDA should be there, wherein this BPDP Act 2023 clauses needs to be mentioned, so that
Mhm.
at least like, because if, when you work with, say, when you are working with digital
Mhm.
marketing, your data is going to go out of your organization. It is not possible that you can do sitting in the organization. We are not talking of large organizations, let's keep it aside. Large
Mhm.
organization maybe over 20%, but 80% of people, they can't infuse that much of talent into that organization, that we don't want to give data outside.
Mhm.
Now, so when your data is any which was going to the vendors, so those vendors, what you can do ethical, of course, what you will do is background check. But to bind him legally, the contracts has to be very, very precise, very, very clear. He has to make him understand what could be the repercussion if that data is compromised, whether ignorantly, unignorantly, ethically, unethically. That's his problem. Second biggest problem is internal problem, as I said, to the employees also. In every induction, what we have now made it, we have 4 hours inductions on data privacy. When we induct a new employee, he should be very clear how he has to use that data, what could be the repercussions. If you are not aware, there are different reporting managers, there is an HR is there, CEO is there. So no compromise on that. That is why from day one we make them induct so very clearly that this is how data has to be used. We are talking purely only of customer data. 4 hours journey happens, rigorous training happens. End of the day, it's a normal test also we take. Of course, it is like KBC, ABCD. They have to just give the answers in that manner. It's only, it's not subjective. So this is how we make sure that our employees have understood and the other side, the vendors, they have to understand by signing the proper legal documents.
Mhm. I understand. So that was quite insightful, given that, even employees, like internal data privacy is also quite important before we actually try to look externally.
Yeah.
So, looking ahead, how do you envision the evolution of AI's role in strategic decision making within not just larger enterprises, but smaller enterprises as well? How do you think it will evolve further?
So now what larger organizations are, having the upper advantage of using artificial intelligence, that will come, it will percolate down the line. Because whatever products currently today which are being manufactured, whether it is an hardcore manufacturing, or when we say OEM, there are different products which are manufactured, or different software which are made, which will embed the AI itself when it comes down to the user. So that evaluation is already happening. We are seeing that in Tesla cars it has come, it has now reached to China. Very soon it will come to India also. A lot of high-end cars in Indian car manufacturers also have started embedding AI into it. Of course, every individual or organization has to pay for it, but it's for the betterment. Evaluation, we have just started. We are on the cusp of jumping in the next level of AI, which we were talking when we were talking of the telecom. We were talking of 2G, 3G. Now we are in 5G. We are talking of cloud. Now cloud is given. Nobody is talking of cloud. They have accepted ये तो cloud में ही है. Unless and until there is a very specific use case where you have to keep it on premises, but 70 to 75% workloads are already on cloud. And currently we are using cloud. Everybody has Gmail. Your personal account, it's on cloud. You have accepted कि उधर रखना ही है. So similarly, whatever new softwares will come, new products will come, AI will get embedded. Microsoft Office 365, when they say it's a modern workplace, that is where they've already started giving that copilot. It's already there. There are different plans. Whoever can afford can take this copilot. Whoever cannot, they will not. They will opt. But then, sooner or later, within the next 2 to 3 years, this is by default. It will come. If you go to on a browser, all browsers have embedded with AI. Your WhatsApp current Meta is already there.
Yes, of
So
course.
that evaluation is already. It is going to come in a huge way.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what industries do you think in particular would have dramatic changes due to AI in the next decade or so?
See, one industry, of course, I'm just adding to it, which has already been using AI in all aspects, is the BFSI sector. They
Mm-hmm.
cannot survive without that, and that's a very huge and the best use cases as of today. The other two industries, which will be the service industry. In service industry, whether it is retail or whether ancillary services are there, that is going to play a major role. And the second industry will be the manufacturing industry. So those are the two industry which I foresee, which will have huge impact on AI, which will make everybody's life a bit more simpler. What we are currently more secured and more informative. So these two industries, of course, there are other industries, but in my opinion, based on my experience, whatever little experience I have, I think this retail and service industry and the manufacturing industry will come. And in service industry, in particular, retail.
Okay, that was quite enlightening. Thank you, Dr. Sandeep, for sharing your insights with us today and also your expertise and helping us understand the dynamic role of AI in shaping the future of decision making across industries. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
So,
Sorry. Please
yes,
continue.
no, so you can go.
Okay, so my grateful thanks to CXO experts and like creating this platform for boardroom beds and give us an opportunity to share our experiences, whether it is good, bad, ugly, we don't know, but at least based on our experience, we have not done that bad job. So, thank you so much for creating this platform, giving this awareness. I'm sure this will be reaching out to the wider audience. That is where the new age people who are coming up in technology or in any walks of life, they may gain something from out of it. Not, I'm sure not 100%, but at least even if we impart 20% of out of it, I think both of us have done a good job.
Of course. So thank you so much for being here. So, to our viewers, thank you for tuning into Boardroom Beats. Stay with us for more discussions with industry leaders, just like Dr. Sandeep, as we explore cutting edge of business and technology. I'm Amreen Mulla, wishing you inspired decisions and innovative solutions. Signing off.